Welcome back to Inside Boxing's Throwdown. My name is Steve Johnson, Radio Martinez. Radio, let's talk about what's going on next weekend. We got some real good fights coming up.
I'll tell you what we do.
On Friday night, we're going to have Showtime, Showbox New Generation. We'll have Banner Promotions, Arpalulo. With this show, where we're in the main event, they'll have Antoine Douglas and Les Sherrington. And then on Saturday night, HBO, we'll have Top Rank presenting Bradley Rios and Timothy Bradley at the Thomas and Mack Center in Las Vegas for the WBO World Welterweight title. But first, before we get to that, Radio, let me talk about the undercard, because we got some good stuff to talk about for these two main events.
Let's talk.
So let me talk about the undercard. First, with the undercard on Saturday night, we'll have Vasily Lomachenko taking on Romulo Kosica for the WBO World Featherweight title, and Mexico's Kosica is coming to the U.S. I think he's in deep trouble. Okay, Lomachenko's looking to get back in the mix of big fight paydays, but more important than that, Lomachenko, I think we know about him, but my boy, Mike, yes indeed, Reed. Mike is on the undercard. I don't know if it'll be televised or not, but my boy Mike, he's 16-0 now, and he's looking to remain undefeated in the light welterweight division. He takes on Mexico's Oscar Cortez, who's 25-2. And I think the one thing about Oscar Cortez that Mike should be in good position is Cortez, both of his losses, he's 25-2, both of them were by KO, and this is his first time in the United States. So I think hopefully, the bright lights and the whole bit of Las Vegas and everything will get to him. It won't get to Mike, I know that for sure. Mike is a highly decorated amateur, and him being 16-0, but that's the undercard. Now, hey, Mike, you know I was going to do that. But anyway, let's get back to the real deal here, Aurelio, and I know you're excited about it. Let's talk first about the Banner Promotion show on Friday night, where we have Antoine Douglas and Les Sherrington. I'll start with my opinion first, since I'm on a roll right here. Okay. Like I said, Douglas should have a little trouble with Sherrington. Sherrington's an Australian, and 6 of his 7 losses have come by KO.
7 losses?
Yes. So this looks like, to me, is setting up Antoine Douglas to show that he's got some power and he can stop this guy.
Okay. Douglas, Antoine, how many losses he had?
I don't know.
Okay.
I think Antoine Douglas has 2 or 3 losses.
Yeah, okay.
So,
but okay.
I was just kidding when I said I don't know, but he's got 2. But I think this is a setup for him to knock this guy out and
move on.
Good,
okay, okay, good. And that's a Friday night, right?
That's Friday night.
Is that Showbox?
Yes.
Okay.
That's at the D Hotel and Casino in Las Vegas.
Good. Okay.
Okay. Then Saturday night, let's get right to it. HBO on Top Rank. Bradley Rios and Timothy Bradley at the Thomas and Mack Center for the WBO welterweight title.
Fight.
No, let's talk real quick.
Who's on that undercard? Any word mentioned?
We just talked about Lomachenko and...
That's on the Bradley...
okay. That's on the
Bradley.
Good. But now, let's talk real quickly. Well, we're not even going to make it quick because we got plenty of time. Let's talk about, as you said in our previous episode, let's talk about the Timothy Bradley saga, because this is definitely a saga. Go ahead. I'll let you take it.
Well, you know what? Timothy Bradley is known for his toughness, always being in shape. I mean, how can you not like a Timothy Bradley? He comes in shape, he comes prepared, but he just never has gotten his just due with the public, in the eye of the public, you know. And I, for one, am one of them that we just never gave him his due. I mean, I think that he's always come up short. I see him as kind of like the old Houston Oilers with Bum Phillips as the coach, where they would always go to the Super Bowl and knock on the door, but they couldn't bust the door down. I think Timothy is kind of in that same thing because, you know, obviously everyone saw the Pacquiao fight.
I'm just floored by the analogy of Bum Phillips. You went, give me some, man. You went deep in the bucket on that one. But go ahead.
But you know, my whole point is he's good enough. He's a champion. He's there, but he isn't that star-studded.
Because he's not exciting.
But he's doing everything he's supposed to do in the ring.
True.
I mean, his chin is suspect because anytime he gets hit solid in the chin, he gets into them la-la land legs, but he sticks it out. I mean,
he knows how to recover.
And he recovers, and he comes back, and he's in your face, you know. But he just never. And like I said before, I'm one of them that just didn't do that. So I'm to the point where if he decides to stand and slug it out with Bradley Rios, I think we're going to have a rock'em sock'em fight.
I think if he stands in front of Bradley Rios and it turns into a slugfest, I think he loses. I don't think he can stand in there with Bradley, but with Brandon on this. But let me back up a little bit. You said that like I said earlier, we talked about the saga. What's the saga with Timothy Bradley? You know what it is, Teddy Atlas.
Well, the saga is, and I will go back and I'm talking about my man, Joel Diaz.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Very likable guy, knows his boxing,
Mm-hmm.
and I think what happens there is he's not one of these coaches that will get out there and try to take the limelight away from his fighters. Joel is a background coach, and
Old school.
and that's good.
Mm-hmm.
You train your fighter and you do it. You don't want to make everything about you as the coach.
Mm-hmm.
So he went from the opposite of Joel. Being a coach that says we're going to do what we have to do to get you in shape, and I'll tell you what, Timothy's always been in shape.
Yes, sir.
Okay, to a coach now in Teddy Atlas, which Teddy Atlas is one of them coaches that everything has to be about him.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so if Timothy wins this fight against Brandon Rios, it's because Teddy Atlas, in his eyes, it was Teddy Atlas that did that. Okay, everything is about Teddy Atlas with Teddy Atlas, and everything from his commentating. And when you're commentating with him, if you disagree with him in commentation, he'll slap you in your head and no, you're wrong. You don't know anything about boxing. But that's Teddy Atlas. That's always been his style. So that whole saga is let's see what happens. Okay, Timothy just came out also in the public and saying that he learned, which I didn't like.
I didn't either.
I didn't like where he said he learned more in this past month with Teddy Atlas than he did his entire career with Joel. That, my man, is downright disrespectful.
It really
for
is.
someone that got you to a championship.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what, if anyone needs to be slapped, Teddy Atlas needs to slap you, but he'll do it anyhow. Trust me. Somewhere along the line, he'll get into that point. So
I agree. I agree with you 100%. We always talked about that, if there was somebody that you want to model your kid after, as far as humility and being able to handle his business in the ring, it was Timothy Bradley. But then he threw all that out the window with one comment about Joel Diaz. No need to make that comment, even if you felt that way.
But he got you there.
No need to make that comment.
He did what he had to do to get you to where you were at. I mean, bottom line.
And bottom line this, and it's, I hate to say this, but in all the years that Tim Bradley was working with Joel Diaz, you might have seen Diaz, building in a couple of times from the weigh-ins up to the fight. Never this thing that he got with Teddy Atlas now. I mean, he's got his hands on Bradley's shoulders, talking to him like he's his son, all of this kind of stuff. It ain't gonna happen. That's all.
Photo ops. These are all photo ops.
Exactly. But let's see what happens if you stand there and you try to pull some Provodnikov stuff. You stand there and go toe to toe with Brandon Rios. You're gonna get your ass knocked out. And we'll see what you want to say then.
What I really like about this, and what I really like about Brandon Rios. Okay, Brandon Rios is a straightforward fighter, and Timothy Bradley's good in his boxing has always been that he's been moving forward and aggressive. And I guarantee you, if Brandon, which I think he will, starts to move Timothy Bradley back, it's over.
Oh, it's problems.
It's over.
It's big problems.
It's over.
Yeah.
And I don't think he'll recover because Bam Bam, we know Bam Bam can take a shot.
There's no question about that.
And we also know that Timothy Bradley doesn't have that knockout power. Okay?
Yep, and
so I think Brandon has no reason to shy away from this man and just stay in the middle of the ring and say, okay, I'm going to move you back. Because the minute Bam Bam starts to move Timothy Bradley back, you're going to see the end of the fight coming.
Hey, Relio, before we end this episode, let's talk just for a couple of seconds. And I know you only want to make it a couple of seconds, but once again, we're on this thing about sagas. The saga with Andre Ward. This dude still doesn't have a contract signed with Alexander Brand. The 38-year-old light heavyweight who's 24-1 with 19 KOs. He doesn't have a bad record, and he's not a bad guy. He's from Colombia. We know one thing about the Colombian
fighters. How old is he, 105?
We know the Colombian boxers are heavy-handed, okay, but it'll be
when they're young.
Yeah, but it'll be the first time that Ward is moving up to light heavyweight. Okay, so all of you people that are about Ward fighting Triple G, get over that. Ward's he's made it known he's gonna be a light heavyweight, so he has to fight Sergey Kovalev. Okay, no doubt about that.
That's
but
part of the agreement. That's part of
the
the agreement with HBO, as I understand it, that he has to end up with Kovalev.
Well, this fight is going to be on the Cotto Canelo undercard.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, how long are they going to keep that spot open for him if he doesn't get this contract signed?
I don't know, but you know what I'm saying. It's a shame. It's a shame that you take an Andre Ward, and he's got the pride. He's got the pride of the United States of America with that gold medal, because the United States of America has stunk so bad for the past couple of decades
decades?
What, decade and a half?
Olympics. Okay.
I'm talking about the amateur, the Olympics.
Yeah.
And he's got this gold medal in his hand, and instead of having to shine and glimmer and continue to keep that public behind him, it's the opposite. He's not fighting. He had the shoulder problems. The surgery didn't work, so he didn't fight. Well, that's what he's saying, but he didn't fight. And then every time you talk about him, he goes back to the Super Six. You know, well, the Super Six. Now he's starting to sound like the Oakland Raiders. You know, we won a Super Bowl back about 2 decades ago. We got more rings than everybody else. But the problem is, it all goes back to Janet Jackson. What have you done for me lately?
Whoa! And ending on that note, I just wanted to say once again, thank you all for the emails, that you sent. Actually, your emails are what we determine what we want to talk about on the upcoming shows. Keep the emails coming, and like I said, positive or negative. If you're respectful, we take it into consideration. If not, if you start off with some craziness, file 13, baby. That's where it goes. But anyway, we'll look forward to seeing you next week, radio. What do we have next week? What are we going to talk about?
I'll tell you what, we're going to recap this weekend's fights. We'll recap the fights and talk about, hopefully it'll be exciting. We'll get into some action. And then we'll talk about the upcoming fights as well.
You got it.
Not sure there'll be a lot in the amateur scene to talk about, but we'll see about that. But anyhow, we always want to cover this, and we're going to bring you the specials now. We're actually going to start bringing you some specials, some special features in our shows. We got a lot of things lined up that you guys are going to like.
That's it.
Okay. Till then, keep
as always, keep the hands up, baby.